Hey guys, so today I want to talk about something a little more serious. I got an amazing email from a fan recently who asked me some questions that I would very much like to take the time and try and answer. So, here we go. One of her biggest problems, being a huge fan of anime and manga, being an otaku, if you were, and not being able to tell your friends about it, or being in the otaku closet, as I call it. I was in the otaku closet once upon a time. It was a very long time ago. I have been collecting since I was in 6th grade, so that ought to tell you something about me. Here's the thing. You can't please everyone. A lot of people aren't going to get it. They're going to look at you and be like, why are you collecting these childish comics or these toys and figures and all of this stuff? You can't please everybody. And I am a strong believer that you only live once and that you should live for you, not for anyone else. That's pretty much all there is to it. When I'm meeting someone new, I don't instantly geek out in their face and be like, oh my god, I collect anime, oh my god, it's so cool and amazing. No, you kind of have to ease them into it. Like, if they're not a fan of anime themselves, you can just be like, oh, it's something that I do. I love it. It's a part of my life. And if they ask about it, kind of segue them into it, maybe get them interested, share one of your favorites with them, stuff like that. This is really awkward for me. I'm sorry. I hope this helps. But, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, you can't please everyone. Not everyone's going to get it. There's always going to be someone who is like, oh my god, this is child stuff. Why are you doing this? And whatever, I'm turning 22 this February. I don't care. I know this stuff is childish, but it is who I am. I've been collecting it since I was probably 12, maybe younger. I've been doing this for a very long time. This is my life. It's not just someone just got into it, it's amazing. It's part of who I am. And if you can't accept that, if they can't accept that this is part of who you are, then they're not worth your time. That's honestly the way it is. But as far as hiding your stuff, I wouldn't ever hide it. I obviously keep my stuff right out in the open. If you're going to know me well enough to come to my house, then you should be able to accept that this is who I am. I am a huge fan of Japanese culture. I collect stuff like a crazy madwoman. Accept me or move on. That's all there is to that. As far as the BJD aspect of this goes, this is really hard. I'm trying not to gesture like crazy. Serious. I don't do serious well. Anyway, BJDs. I am very straightforward type of person. I don't beat around the bush or anything. If someone says to me, oh, well, that's a doll, aren't you a little old for that? I'm like, you know what? No, these aren't children's dolls. They cost, on an average, about $300, $700. That's not something that children buy. They are completely customizable. I find that it helps if you explain that it's more of an art form. At least that's the way I look at it. Because they're completely customizable, you can mod them, you can dress them, change their hair, their eyes, whatever. You can paint their faces. A lot of people buy them to use as characters in their stories that they use. I use them as photography props and for art props because much cheaper than an actual human model. I can just pose them however and get the general gist of it, which is amazing. I don't know. It's tough to make other people understand. I think either people are going to be open-minded about it or they aren't. Some people will be like, hey, once you explained it to me, I get it. It's kind of cool, whatever. Not for me, but that's your deal. Some people are going to be like, hey, I can't believe you'd ever spend that much. It's a freaking doll. Yeah, it is a doll. And yes, it is expensive, but that's my hobby, and that's where I choose to put the money that I earn. Rather than, say, collecting mugs or collecting little cat toys, figurine things, or cars, or, there's a lot of hobbies out there, and they all take money. Hobbies are something that you put your money into that makes you happy. This is what makes me happy. If you're having trouble with friends, or, people who are all like just beating you down, they're not worth your time. I know that sounds harsh, but they aren't. You have one life. Like, seriously, do what makes you happy. Don't worry about everyone else. I sure as crap don't. Sorry. But, I don't know. Family is a little harder to get them to understand. Like, my mom, I haven't really explained the hobby to her. Like, she knows I collect dolls. She thinks I have 2. I have 7. No big deal. Parents are a little harder because they're closer to you than anyone else. They're obviously going to be like, why are you spending this much money? It's very expensive. I don't know. I grew up poor, so for me to be able to spend this much money on something is not only amazing for me to be able to buy like what I want and be happy with it, but it's also a huge thing for people in my family to see this and be like, you are wasting so much money. When I was buying my first, I'm jumping topics. I'm really not good at this, and I'm really sorry. I really want to help you. Please don't feel free to ever ask me questions. I will, obviously, this is really a problem. I need a hair clip. I will love to help anyone who has questions about what I've been through, anything that I can do to help you go through an easier time. Seriously, because going through it alone sucks. And there are obviously, I was a loner in high school. I literally had one friend, and then she ditched me, whatever. So like my senior year, I was literally solo. I talked to everybody, but I wasn't friends with anybody. I ate by myself. I was very much just little old me hanging out in the library. Woo! But yeah, I don't know. It's a thing. I'm just gonna leave that there. Yeah. As far as, sorry, this video is getting really long and ranty. The person who wrote me the email asked what my thoughts were when I first bought one. I was scared of buying one at first. I was very much like, this is a $300 doll. What am I doing with my life? Like, this is really expensive. I could be putting this towards my car. Or I was getting kicked out of my house at the time, which, yeah. So obviously money could have been going to much better things, but I was going through a rough time, and I'm like, I wanted one of these. I wanted a BJD for about 2 years at the time. I was like always looking at pictures online in high school and researching it and being like, wow, these are gorgeous. I really want one. And I think for me, it was more of a rebellion thing because, like I said, I was getting kicked out of my house, and I literally had a conversation. I was on the laptop looking at Chase, my first BJD, and I was looking at him. I'm like, I really, really freaking want him. He's not that expensive. I could probably afford it. And I was like, I could do this. Like, maybe I could do this. And my mom came downstairs, and she literally had this whole conversation about, you need to start packing because this is happening and you have about a week. And I was like, and I bought him. She left the room and I bought him. I was like, I don't care about you. I'm going to do what makes me happy. And you know what? I don't regret it for a second. I love Chase. He is my baby. He was with me through the move. He was with me through a lot of stuff. And I know that's weird because it's a doll and they're inanimate, whatever. But I do talk to him when I'm alone. Not when John's in the room because that's weird. But not when anyone else is in the room because that's weird. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it's a very emotional, sentimental thing. Like, yes, they are dolls, but, like, I don't know. To me, it's a little person. Chase is a little person, and he helped me through a rough time in a time that I really didn't have any friends. I had maybe one really good friend, but other than that, I was pretty much going solo. So here was this little thing that I could love unconditionally, and I could trust it to not turn its back on me or talk poops about me or be rude. And it was just a nice break from humanity, and it helped me through a really, really, really rough time. So yeah, this is getting way too long and way too talky and awkward. So yeah, I hope I answered your questions. If not, feel free to shoot me another email and be like, could you go more in depth, blah, 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 blah. I'm really not that great at this sort of thing, but again, I would love to help anyone out who is having trouble with friends or family that just don't understand or that need a little push in the right direction of understanding. I have been there. I'm actually pretty good at making people understand that it's not the devil to own a doll. So, no big deal, right? But I hope this helped you, or that you enjoyed it, or that you stayed for the whole 10 minutes, because this is crazy, and I'm sorry that this was really long and ridiculous, but I will get back to you guys later with an update video that I still promised. I really wanted to get this out there. So I hope this helped. Bye!